A shared characteristic among us humans is memory. We may think that we can recall a memory in all of its accuracy. We can believe that an experience we are visually and mentally reliving is uninterrupted, that it is untarnished, as if it exists in a permanent storage cabinet that can be unlocked with ease. However, what this belief lacks is the realization that memory is something that is not recalled, but rather it is reconstructed. To first explore memory, we can observe it in its definition. Memory is the most extraordinary phenomenon in the natural world. Our brains are modified and reorganized by our experiences. Our interactions with the physical world, our sensory experiences, our perceptions, our actions, they all manage to change us continuously and determine what we are later able to perceive, remember, understand, and become. As we have examined its definition, we can now analyze that research has often signified that memory is prone to being reconstructed and does not remain robust. For example, according to Craig E. L. Stark and Joyce Lacy, after the September 11th terrorist attacks on New York City, U.S. citizens were asked to remember when they first heard about the attacks. They were asked to recall this episode approximately 1 to 2 weeks after 9/11, 1 year later, and then 3 years later. Memories of the details had changed in 37% of the people after 1 year, and in 43% after 3 years. Interestingly, despite the drop in memory accuracy, confidence in the accuracy of the memory remained high, an example of a negative relationship between memory confidence and accuracy, and was driven primarily by attention paid to media reports and by talking about the attack in the intervening time. We can recognize that memory distortions can occur in different ways. Most distortions involve some form of explicit or covert misleading information. One form of this phenomenon is the misinformation effect, and it has been thoroughly studied for the last 30 years. This effect refers to a distortion in an original memory after being exposed to misleading information related to that memory. For example, an impairment in the memory. We use our entire existing body of knowledge and experiences to filter for what we perceive, attend to, and use in memory reconstruction. To further investigate how this illustrates, I would like to explore this in the mundane, specifically how it operates from our childhood memories. So a shared belief among many of us is that our childhoods were a time of wonder and appreciation. It is commonly understood that as children we were able to witness or experience everything as being a wonder. Each introduction of something from childhood awed us, whether it was our Barbie toys, our Power Ranger action figures, or even sycamore trees in nature. We all endeavor to replicate these joyful experiences by remembering them, as if they are canon pieces of literature that can be opened up and examined. Our memories, though, are not books on shelves that can be reread and experienced accurately. Instead, our memories are reproduced. Each time that we partake in mentally reliving a moment, something is lost or something is gained. For instance, as adults, when we are reflecting on a beautiful memory of our childhood selves climbing up a sycamore tree, we do not take into account how ants were crawling upon us, or that we still had tons of math homework to do. As a result, we lose the negatives, like ants crawling on us and scraped knees, and gain the positives, a pure memory untarnished. These notions often arise from a certainty that once was is better than what is now. Louise Gluck once observed that we look at the world once, in childhood, the rest is memory. This suggests that when we experience something, we will store it away as a memory that will be compared to all other ones afterwards. Therefore, a memory is being reconstructed as it is continuously being compared. Amongst the complexities that memories have on us, our distortion of memory is not purposeful. For example, research indicates that memory distortions in humans may occur simply with the passage of time. This is partly because over time, memories typically become less episodic, highly detailed and specific, and more semantic, more broad and generalized, as information is repeatedly retrieved and re-encoded in varying contexts. All of these explanations have one thing in common with one another: time. Time, the devourer of all things. For each tick of the clock, a memory will talk. When faced with such a phenomenon, how are we capable of recovering? How can someone possibly continue their experiences, knowing that each moment will fade, and that we can never measure or relive an experience in its entirety again? To try to accept this terrifying realization, we must reason. This means that we must accept that we are made of memories, and we will become one day. Therefore, we must embrace the present and experience a moment before it flees and becomes a memory.